Smile, you're on NerdCam. Hello, you beautiful Harley Davidson switchback you. God, I love this bike. So does my ass. My ass is loving this bike. What's up, YouTube? So, here's what I want to talk about today. A couple things. First of all, I want to reflect on my first 4 months of riding and my first basically 2 months of vlogging, and tell you some of the stuff I've learned and get your input on some of the stuff. The biggest thing I've learned since I've been riding is this: cagers are douche waffles. And I was a douche waffle. I can't believe it. I can't believe what dicks are out on the road riding around, not giving a damn about anything but themselves and expecting you to watch out for them. Unbelievable. And since I've been on two wheels, I realized how much I did the same damn thing. Maybe not as bad. I was never big into texting while I was driving, or the wheel didn't turn whichever way my head turned, but oh my God. And it's that perfect storm of, I'm more important than you, I have no idea where the hell I'm going or what I'm doing, and I just don't give a shit about you. But anyway, what I've learned in my first 4 months of riding, I've learned that the person who told me that at about 2,000 miles, things will start really feeling more automatic, and they are. When I first started, I was on the Harley Davidson Street 750. By the way, I'm on a new Harley Davidson about every 4 to 6 weeks. More on how that happened in another vlog and how that works for me. I know, it's incredible, and it's like Christmas about every 4 to 6 weeks for me. But anyway, my first bike, I didn't even leave this neighborhood we're riding around in now. Is not far from my house, and this is where I stayed for like the first 3 days. I didn't even go outside of the neighborhood because I was trying to do everything perfect. And I stressed over all of it. I stressed over turns. For some reason, I had a problem with left-hand turns, not the right-hand turns. I had a problem making a left-hand turn. I finally realized it's because A, I wasn't turning my head before I turned, and B, I was target fixating. More on that in a little bit too. But finally, after about, I don't know, 700-800 miles, things started to feel a little more natural. It's probably the most dangerous time as a rider, your first 500 to 1,000 miles, because no matter how good your training is, you've never done it. And you tend to get out and you try to think of every damn thing that you've been taught all at once. With, of course, the top 5 things running through your head is don't die. And I really didn't spend a lot of time thinking about that. But I did spend a lot of time trying to be aware of potential dangers. And I missed a lot. So it's kind of like anything else when you're first learning. You see things that you could have done better. You see things that could have gone wrong under different circumstances. You try to file it away, and you try to do better the next time. You try to add distance, maybe a little speed. So my first month of riding, I was on a Harley Davidson Street 750, which, what an awesome starter bike that was. It's the 750 version of their Street 500 that the Harley Davidson Riding Academy uses, and I love that bike. That bike has an awesome engine, and I felt very comfortable on it after my first 3 or 4 weeks. But I was still thinking a lot. Then about month 2 or a month and a half into riding, I switched bikes to another Harley Davidson model. It was a Harley Davidson Sportster 72. Completely different feel, from the street 750. And the 72, although completely different, and it was my first time experiencing forward controls, I got comfortable on that really, really fast. And the only thing that gave me a little trepidation on that was when I get up to speed. On the 750, when I hit 65 miles an hour, it got a little buzzy. But then when I hit 70, it smoothed right out. Never hit 70 on the Sportster 72. But I felt comfortable on it in every other way, and it wasn't that long until I started realizing I was scanning for things without actively thinking about it. I was anticipating possible dangers without actually thinking about it. I wasn't thinking, okay, clutch in, shift up, throttle out, blip the throttle. Both brakes. That was another thing. I had a bad habit of using mostly front brake. What I just did right there, head check, I couldn't do that for the first 5 weeks because I was so unsteady on the bike that just the act of turning my head this far would make me wobble. And then somewhere in between my a month and a half and 2.5 months, somewhere around 600-700 miles of riding, it all just kind of came together one morning. I realized I wasn't thinking. I realized instead of trying to turn the bike, I was pushing left, pushing left, pushing right. I do know my right from my left. I just, counter steering made a huge difference. And it made sense. It all made sense. I had a couple of close calls. One was right in this intersection. I happened to go straight that day, and somebody pulled into that pharmacy at the last second without signaling. And I didn't expect it, and I was relatively close to them, even though we were just starting from a stop. And I grabbed the throttle, grabbed the brake, I grabbed the clutch, grabbed the brake, still had the throttle twisted all the way up, put my foot on the brake, hit it too hard. I mean, everything you could have done wrong, I did wrong. Thank God it was at a slow speed. And then one other time in a spot I'm going to show you here in just a second. Basically, I was coming down a main road. There was a cut through across that main road. A big truck had passed through the cut through. Big tractor trailer truck with building supplies. And then they stopped in the cut through waiting to turn left. They were far enough in front of me where I had plenty of time to see what was going on. There was nothing to worry about. And I came by him, and just as I came by him, the nose of a Corvette stuck out of his rear end. I never saw that Corvette. Luckily, that Corvette saw me and stopped. That could have been disaster, because I just assumed it was still clear behind the truck, because it had been clear when he pulled into that intersection. Leads me to one other thing I want to say about being a beginning rider. I wear a high-vis helmet, fully high-vis, and I will guarantee you this helmet has stopped people from pulling out in front of me on several occasions. I don't wear a high-vis jacket because I've read and I've noticed, and you'll notice it too when you're on the road, your eyes go to the highest point on the road. My head's the highest point when I'm on this bike. And I believe they see that way before they'd ever see a high-vis jacket. Can't hurt wearing a high-vis jacket, but I don't know that wearing a high-vis jacket and a black helmet does you near as much good as wearing a high-vis helmet and a black jacket. Of course, that's what I do, and my jacket happens to be black, one of them, my summer jacket, which is stupid, but it breathes great. And I'm pretty sure they can see that high-vis helmet from a long way. And besides, if you want to look cool, call me stupid, but I think high vis and black looks awesome together. One other thing I just saw recently in a vlog that made so much sense to me. Cager on Two Wheels in a recent vlog on filtering was talking about where to position yourself when you come up behind somebody at a red light, and his argument was he always stops left center where I am now. He always stops left center of the traffic light, giving himself an out to the left in between vehicles if he needs it. But he said the reason why he never stopped on the right side of the lane, which also gives you an out, is that he believes it also takes you out of the driver that's bearing down on you, out of their frame of consciousness. And I'd never really heard it put that way, because they're focusing on the tail lights of the car in front of them. They're looking for a car. We're getting on the left or the right of a lane when we come to a stop. If we're on the left side of the lane, we're more in front of him than in front of the passenger. It just makes sense to me. You still have your escape route on your left if you need it. So you have to constantly change where you're located in the lane and which lane you're in throughout your ride, because you've got to position yourself for not only escape, but most importantly for visibility by other drivers. So sometimes on the same road you might be on the right third like I am now, and then other times I may want to be in the center, which I don't do a whole lot unless it's dry, and sometimes you might want to be on the outside third, and it can change constantly. That's why when more than one of us goes for a ride, I always tell them, look, give me some distance behind me, because even though we're riding staggered as a rule, the conditions might change and cause me to need to move, you know, right or left. Don't feel the need that you need to change your stagger because I changed mine, because I'm moving to be safer. So if I move over in front of you on your part of the lane in a group ride, a staggered ride, I'm there for safety. You stay there and wait till I move back over. There's just so many things. I look at it like this. I look at riding like it's a puzzle. I look at it like it's a mystery, and my job is to solve the mystery of staying safe, having fun, and getting where I want to go with a minimum of hassle. Not a lot of technical stuff in this vlog, but when you first start out, you're thinking about everything. You're going like, God, am I ever going to get this? And not everybody's like that. I got buddies who were riding 2-up a week after riding and did great. Hell, I haven't ridden 2-up yet. I've been riding for 4 months, although I'm about to real soon. Take your time when you're starting out. It will come on its own. But what you can't do is push your limits before you've established them. That video of the guy doing the mountain roads on the sport bike that runs head on into the fire engine, it took me, what's it been out a couple months now? It took me till just yesterday to be able to watch it, because even though the guy didn't die, I just thought, I don't want to see this. But I watched it, and as everybody said in the comments, it was what causes problems with virtually every accident that is the rider's fault. Excessive speed for their ability as a rider, excessive speed for blind turn conditions, not staying in their lane, and then when the shit hit the fan and they needed to turn that bike, they forgot to push. They forgot to countersteer. They forgot to push. That put them right in the grill of a freaking fire engine. Get the basics down and get comfortable with the basics. Then move on and try to branch out to the next thing you want to accomplish. The jackasses who are out there acting like fucktards driving like maniacs, riding without helmets, doing all this stuff as new riders. You'll see their videos too one day, and probably a tribute video from their friends. Just be smart. I'm on month 4. Haven't even been doing it a year. I got so much more, a lifetime more to learn. But I freaking love riding this motorcycle. I love riding this motorcycle. It's the best thing I've ever done for myself, ever. And I want to enjoy it for a long time. And I'm going to. So if any jackass starts giving you crap that you ride with because, or they're giving you crap about your ride too slow, or you didn't take a turn fast enough, or you're using all your gear and it's too hot, you know what, that's just not somebody you need to be riding with. At the very least, you get tired of hearing it. At the very worst, they'll convince you to do something you're not ready to do. And I can guarantee you, when something bad happens to them, you'll be there to see it. It's just not worth it. 4 months of riding, I freaking love it. Best thing I've ever done. And yeah, it has a little something to do with the fact that I ride a new Harley Davidson every 4 to 6 weeks. That'll be next vlog. Thank you, Emerald Coast Harley Davidson. I love you. Thank you guys if you watch this. Subscribe, comment, tell me what I need to know. I'll never stop learning. Later.